the amount of offensive values that they have, they don't pack as much of a punch as, say, their weight in bugs. So nonetheless, they have showed up and they have chased off the Klingons. The Klingons have made quite a nice trade. You can see over here that Tyrus has, in the process, managed to fully expand. Well, maybe not completely fully, because he's only got 2 on the Titanium moon, but dilithium production is fully up and running. And for the Klingons, that is going to be the main factor. Wow, and Tyrus is very quickly moving into a battle yard, so trying to tech up a lot faster. So a lot of players do like to tech into the later game ships, and I'm of the opinion that that actually hurts them a bit. The early game ships still have a lot of utility, especially in offensive power and board control. And if you tech up, you're going to be strapping yourself for resources in order to produce the tech, when at the same time you should have been producing your offensive ships. But again, that is my opinion, and many players have proven me wrong many times. So we can see down here, back into this game, Custodian is trying to, wow, he's going to produce, he's looking to get supplies here very shortly. He is trying to recoup his losses from down here, and I am betting, because of this, because of the supply thing, that he was hurting for supplies more than anything. So, though quite frankly, the numbers of ships that he produced didn't quite add up in my head. Nonetheless, we'll see what he makes of this. So he has 3 of these S2s. The one thing that is of note is he doesn't have the Alpha Catcher Cell White. You can see that it is the, 30% increased firing rate as opposed to 35 that I mentioned earlier. But nonetheless, they are hanging out here. They are a slightly sturdier vessel, coming in with 19 defense versus these bugs that are running at 10 and 11, or at 11. The Klingons really do have the board advantage at the moment. They've got the lithium miner up on the Dominion here. So Tyrus in the driver's seat of this game, and moving in with some Quebecs. And we can see these Vorchas coming up. These guys are nasty. They have a Polaron torpedo, which will destroy, well, won't destroy, but it'll disable a subsystem. And depending on what kind of lucky hits you get, you can actually, you can take out shields, you can take out engines. Life support doesn't really do a whole lot for most of your opponents, but it can be quite devastating, especially if you get enough of these. You can very easily just disable a ship, and then it will be easily taken out. However, the cost on these guys, I forget them off the top of my head, but they do make them a little bit expensive to spam. You can't exactly spam them, but they do provide a nice backbone into the middle game of the Klingons. So we are moving into, quite interestingly, the middle game, and we really have not spent a whole lot of time in the early game. Everyone's forsaking his early units to move into later tech. Now, this is something I don't really know that I would recommend. The Dominion here have got a ton of their ratio of S2s versus their other offensive ships is just greatly in favor of the S2s. The S2s themselves are actually more like support ships, and so they tend to die really quickly, and they don't have as much firing power as, say, some of the other ones. They do have a little leg up on, say, the Borels. The Borels are quite weak, but we shall see what the players make of this. So we're a little bit of a standstill here. Looks like both players are trying to just sort of work in their economy. This Vorcha here just coming in. We should be expecting a little bit of research coming in here very shortly. There's the Polaron torpedo researched, and so Tyrus is slowly gathering a decent army. You can see that here is another Quebec. These Quebecs again are quite sturdy ships, moving in 3 of them at the same time. So he's got a fleet of roughly 6 Brels, 4 Quebecs, and 1 of these Vorcha classes. And it looks like he's going for a heavy weapons platform, and yes, he is. So the heavy weapons platform, if a Klingon can get one of these down on the board, they take so long, it cost a ton of resources, but they are beast of a platform. All but maybe the Borg spheres really don't want to tango with this heavy weapons platform. And you can see that the minion down here, Custodian, is still producing a decent number of ships in the process. He is all going still heavy S2s. I think this combination, this mix of ships is actually going to hurt him. He is probably would have been better served to go a little bit more bugs, would have given him more offensive power on the board. But we shall see. The Klingons are in the process. Tyrus is in the process of moving a ship around. I'm expecting one of these Vorja classes around here. And here comes a couple of cavorts. So Klingons really should press their advantage. I'm of the and here we go. Here we have the engagement coming up here very shortly. The Klingons. Oh, here's the other Vorcha. So these Vorcha should probably move in first a little bit, take a little bit extra fire. It looks like one of these Klingons was a little bit out of range, taking down really quickly. So the Klingons moving in, just tagging everything. The Dominion moving very quickly into the nebula, which will give them a lot of extra shield regeneration. And so the Klingons are going to take a stab at the economy. Nonetheless, the Dominion are right back out and are attacking the Vorcha. Now, if you're in fleet ops, the AI is actually nice enough that it'll attack the lowest defense target within range, which is actually the best possible attacking thing, unless there are a couple of exceptions here and there. But by and large, you do want to take out the lowest defensive ship on the fleet, because it will reduce the firepower you are facing much quicker than, say, if you were to go after, say, these Vorcha, which you can see that they wasted just a ton of firepower on the shields, taking it halfway down, not taking out any of the firepower of that ship. So in the meantime, we can see, however, that the engagement has been going kind of poorly for the Klingons. They have lost all their Brels. The bugs have managed to do a decent amount of damage. And these ships somehow, so Tyrus really should be microing his ships a little bit, losing an unnecessary ship that Vorcha really should have been microed away. That was just a little bit of a bad micro on his part, and so these ships, I don't know, they were cloaked, they were getting away, and then now they have decloaked, so possibly a little bit of button pressing going wrong, that 4-second cloak not playing into the favor, and Custodian doing a excellent job of defending himself off, taking advantage of the mistakes by Tyrus, and just really causing the Klingons to take a ton of damage. So in the process, what looked like a nasty defeat for Custodian has turned into quite a big loss for him. And these S2s are going to chase off the remaining 2 Klingon forces. This is really going to hurt Tyrus. He does. Tyrus does